Okay guys, so I'm back and in the process of finishing up that, we did the one gray wrap and then we're coming back with the blue wrap on this diamond fade wrap. I wanted to make a change and I think this is a good learning point. So I did start with 6 wraps on the center. So basically the base of the diamond wrap. So a 6 wrap, which would be a total of 12. So 6 on the lower, 6 on the upper for the diamond wrap, right? And then I was going to do 1 gray wrap and then come back with 5, 2, 4, 3, right? But I'm going to make a change. And so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to line through these really quick. So I did a 6 base. So I'll just write the 6 base wrap here. And now I'm going to start with the lower number here versus where I had the higher numbers, the 6, 5, 4. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and this will be the gray now. This will be the blue because I'm going to make a change. So instead of doing 6 and 1 and then 5 blue and then 2 gray, I'm going to go with a 6 with a base, 1 gray, 1 gray wrap, 4 blue wraps, 2 gray, 3 blue, 3 gray, 2 blue, 4 gray, 1 blue. That's what I'm shooting for. And I may actually even scratch off this one last blue one here. So we'll take a look at that. So here's where we're at. Back out a little bit. So this is where we're at on this wrap. And so I've been going in and packing this in. So we have a 6, the center down here, that's 6 wraps each side with 1 on the center for a total of 13 wraps actually. The 1 center line wrap and then 6 on each side of that. So that blue diamond wrap on the inside, that's 13 complete wraps. Then we did 1 blue wrap on the lower and the upper, or excuse me, 1 gray wrap on the lower and the upper side. And then we came back with 4 blue wraps. That's what's up here on this outer side. Now I'm going to come back with 2 complete gray wraps. And again, we're going to come back on the bottom side. We're coming in with a gray on the bottom. All right, and just trying to keep this nice, not too, tight, but not too tight. That way I've got a little bit of flexibility in the thread when I come back behind and pack the thread. So I'm coming over on the bottom. Right now I'm going to come back down on the bottom side. And if you see some of these blue dots on here, those are actually marks that I've measured out for another wrap that I'm going to put on here once the diamond wrap is done. This diamond fade wrap. I'm going to come back in with a little bit of other decorative wrap, probably some metallic thread, maybe even some kaleidoscope. Take up a little bit more of that space on the chrome under wrap, but also add a little bit more, I guess, pop to it with that metallic or telescope or a kaleidoscope thread. So now you've got the underside here. We're coming up on the end of this bottom wrap. All right, so now since we're doing two gray wraps, right, I want to come up, back over my tape, and I'm going to come back down. Now I'm on the top, right? Now I want to be on the top, and then after this top wrap here, then I'll go back, I'll pack the thread, and then I'll go back down and start on the bottom again with the second gray wrap. Going back over, like I said earlier, on the upper portion of this wrap. And we'll be doing two wraps with the gray thread as we start to get into this fade, and you'll really see the fade come off of these sides. All right, now we're going to, down on the end, we're going to come back on the top. Make sure I'm nice and aligned, good and straight. All right, so almost down to the end down here. Down towards the fore end or butt end of the rod. All right, so now I got one complete upper and lower with the gray thread of the two that I'm going to do, right? And so now what I'm going to do, the tedious part, is I'm coming in and I'm packing this thread before I come back over with my second gray wrap. So I'm just coming in here up to the diamond wrap, and I'm packing this in. And I'll do this on both sides of the rod where the diamond wraps are at. And just work the burnishing tool to help pack some of that in. I'll come at the top, pack in. I just use my finger a little bit, help push that burnishing tool. And I don't want to be too much pressure because I don't want to mess up that that chrome under wrap because it's very thin. And it overlaps when I wrap it, but I darn sure don't want to tear it or cause a wrinkle in it. So I did the top part. I'm going to rotate it back to the bottom side of the rod and do the same thing, right? So just coming up in here with the burnishing tool, pushing up in here. Then I'll come back. I'm just trying to pack that thread before I come over with the second gray wrap. And back on the top. And then pull back up in here on the bottom of the and then that's it, right? And then now what I want to do is I'm going to come back now that I packed the thread the best that I could with my burnishing tool. I'm going to come back and I'm going to start the second gray wrap. All right, and so I got that second part done, so I'm just gonna get that on the tape so it'll stay. All right, and then the same thing we did earlier is I have to come back and I gotta come back in here with the burnishing tool and pack that thread in there, right? And then so once I get this thread packed in there again, so we did the one gray with the 4 blues, that's complete, right? Now I just did the 2 grays, I just did this one here. Now I'm gonna come back with 3 blues, that's where I'm at right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish packing this thread, and then I'll get into the blue wraps, the 3 blue wraps that are gonna follow. All right. Okay, so we finished the 2 gray wraps earlier. I just finished the 3 blue wraps and then packed those, so we're good to go on that one. Now we're going to come back with 3 gray, and then that's where the gray starts to become the majority, and that's really where the fade starts to take place. So now we're going to come back with 3 gray and 2 blue. So what that looks like, right? So you can see it's starting to come together, right? So you have the blue. So there's a bunch of blue in there. Again, 13 strands total. Then 1 of blue. Then we have 13 strands total of blue, 1 of gray, 4 of blue, 2 of gray, 3 of blue. And now we're going to come back over and do 3 of gray and then 2 of blue. Coming down across the bottom. And again, now remember, we're going to do 3 of the gray, and this is really where the fade, this is where the gray starts to become the majority of the color, and it's really where the fade starts to happen. So when the second color takes over from the first color, that's where the fade happens. More second color wraps than the first color wraps. So we'll be doing 3 of the gray, and we'll be doing 2 of the blue. And then, of course, we are stopping and packing the thread after every 1 wrap down and back, both on the top and the bottom. I'm going to come back down across the bottom. All right, now we're going to go over the top. You can see it's really starting to take form. All right, so we're down here to the end. And then we're going to come back across the top. All right, almost down to the end, back down to the butt end, or the fore end, whatever you like to call it. All right, so what I'm going to do really quick, cut that off. So now you can see what we have, right? So from the inside, all right, so you have 13 blues in the middle, 1 gray, 4 blues, 2 gray, 3 blues. Now I'm starting the 3 grays and I'll come back with 3 blues. And that's really kind of the transition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pack the rest of this gray. I'm going to do the rest of the gray wrap, pack the thread, and do the 2 blue wraps and start to show you more of the transition. Okay. Okay, guys, so now where we're at is we just finished the 3 gray wraps and the 2 blue wraps, nice and packed. So I'm going to cross this off. And then the last one we're going to have is 4 gray wraps and 1 blue wrap. And this is where we're at, right? So now you can see, still doing a little packing, but a total of 13 blue wraps here in the middle, followed by 1 gray, 4 blue, 2 gray, 3 blue, 3 gray, 2 blue is what I just finished right here. And now I'm going to pack in 4 gray and 1 blue on top of it. And then this will be done. So you can see this is the fade wrap portion. Cool. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I am going to do the blue, or the last 4 wraps of the gray right here. The last 4 wraps of the gray and the 1 wrap of the blue. And then I'll be back and show you where we're at. Okay, thank you. Okay, guys. So we just finished up the 4 gray wraps and the 1 blue wrap for the diamond fade wrap. And so I'll show this to you really quick, and so we can see where we're at. And so as far as the diamond fade wrap is concerned, I am done. You can see these blue dots right here. I got another wrap that I'm going to do for this. But on the other side, some metallic thread to kind of accentuate the wrap. But this is it. So you can see, you have a center with the blue, which was a total of 13 wraps for me. And, it could be as small or as big as you want to make the center. But I basically did a center line wrap, then with 6 additional wraps on either side of it, on the top and the bottom, total of 13. Then I came out with 1 gray wrap, and then 4 blue wraps, 2 gray wraps, 3 blue wraps, 3 gray wraps, 2 blue wraps, and then 4 gray wraps, and then 1 blue wrap, just to tie it off on the outside. And that's really it. You can continue to make this diamond fade wrap as big or as elaborate as you like. You can continue to tie it in. You can start to scale it back down. Now, I think what would look pretty cool is, so, we kind of went out 1, 2, 3, 4. And then now if you went back down in the reverse order that you went up, you'd kind of have that cool looking continued cool looking fade wrap. So, hey, I hope this helps. If you have any questions, regarding this diamond fade wrap or any other questions about rod building, please feel free to make a comment down there below, and then I'll respond and try to help you answer the question that you have. If you like what I'm doing, please hit that like button and hit the subscribe button as well. That way you get notifications on any other videos that I post in the future. So again, this concludes the diamond fade wrap. I hope this helps. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button and hit that like button down on the bottom. All right, until next time, take care.